Hi, and welcome to the section on the NCD survey. If you are following along in the LifePlan manual, please turn to page 28 and we can look at this together. In this next video, we're going to discuss how to conduct an NCD survey in your local congregation. We're recognizing on the denominational level that NCD surveys are increasing in terms of cost, and some churches are finding it increasingly difficult to afford them. So it's not vitally important that you do an NCD survey. We do offer other tools that can help as well. But there still is nothing quite like doing an NCD survey. And with a few little simple tips and tricks, there are ways that you can get the most out of this process. Obviously, there are all kinds of online resources available at the NCD Canada website. We'll be providing a link at the bottom of the screen here for that. They describe a number of ways to do this, but here are some of the tips and tricks that we've actually found really quite helpful in doing NCD surveys. The first is to actually conduct this survey inside a Sunday morning service time. Now, I don't mean cancel the sermon. I don't mean don't sing or take up the offering. But just before people leave, invite them to fill out the NCD survey. One of the challenges that we are having is that if we wait and we allow people to go home with the material, it's very difficult to get it back. So it's important for you to pick a time in the life of your church where everyone's going to be there and you can fill it in together. The other tip that we recommend is that as you fill in the survey, you allow people to ask questions about how to answer some of the questions in the survey. It's sometimes very important when there's a question later on to know what everyone thought that question meant. So if there is confusion, invite people to ask their question, and that way people all in the same room are able to answer the question in basically the same way. Another common mistake that congregations make in carrying out their NCD survey is they don't pay attention to the actual instructions available on the website. There are certain people that are to be taking this survey and certain people who aren't. If you don't pay attention to the rules and the criteria for selecting people to fill out the survey, you're going to wind up with results that you don't anticipate and that the survey is not designed to communicate back to you. Please pay attention to those rules. It's very important. Finally, and this isn't absolutely necessary, but it can be very, very helpful as part of the transparency and openness of the LifePlan process, is to take a moment when you finally do get the results, and once you have actually tabulated or collected the results of your survey, mail them to the ministry center, and we'll submit them to NCD Canada for you. And then we'll send the results back in an email. You can actually contact me, email me, and we can go over them and interpret them together. I have a significant amount of experience with these surveys, and I'd be more than happy to discuss any of them with you that you'd like to go over. But a helpful thing to do at the end of the NCD process is to get everyone that filled in the survey back together in the same room to have a conversation about the results. It can be very informative. It can help your board, it can help your writing team to have an understanding of what was in the mind of the people when they filled things out. These are never perfectly executed. There are always questions that remain, and bringing those questions into a public forum where the people that filled out the survey actually get to respond and tell you what they were thinking about can be very helpful in your planning, your strategizing, and your understanding, and ultimately your interpretation of the results. So if you follow some of those basic tips, then you should have one or two very powerful and very important questions to bring into your LifePlan process. That is the key with each of these tools, is to have one or two very solid questions. If you emerge from this process with one or two very solid questions, then you've done it well and it's served its purpose.